Alright, hey there Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and welcome back to the Ocarina of Time Let's Play. If you did miss out during the last one, well, we just got ourselves now with the hook shot, and we did go and arrive on over here to where the Forest Temple is to go and see Sheik and learn the Minuet of Forest, which that is our very first actual teleportation song. Well, for whatever reason, if we decide to ever go and head back to here, if I ever do need to go and pick up with the rest of the other different gold school shows, which that is going to probably be something that I will have to go and do later on when I do have to go and have the time to head back into our time of the Forest Temple. Now, within these two videos for today, not only are we going to be doing out here with Ocarina of Time, but we are also, of course, going to be doing some more of what Yokai Watch 4 is all about. We are going to be currently, I think, doing the Jack trial and then also moving onwards into the Bruno trial, which I'm a little bit scared about that because I don't know what type of crazy celestial summon that we have to go and re-battle out here again. Hopefully it's not going to be with Chiron, but we'll have to see what happens with our time from here. Now, this area, I want to say, in the Forest Temple is going to be another one of these areas that are going to be somewhat a little bit backtracking. And if you guys do recall, we did go and do one backtracking area, and that was all about with the Donkel's Cavern as Young Link. Now, since this is going to be our very first actual temple here, this one is also going to be having some backtracking with, and that is, of course, since we are going to be here playing as with Young Link. And now, I want to say there is one cool thing about here within the Forest Temple, which I really do like, and that is with the hide and seek pose that we are going to have to go and search for. And it's well, I want to say like even in Twilight Princess, they also have this same type of way as well too, on trying to go and search for these different poses where they just kind of like just get scattered around, and you're in this big huge hub center room, and you just have to go and just try to search for all those poses, so that once you go and be able to go and do that, you can then be able to battle out with the actual boss that will happen later on within our time of this part. Now, I can't really remember exactly who the actual boss is of this actual part of the Forest Temple. I don't want to say it's Bongo Bongo because he's more so in the Nocturne of Shadow area, and I'm trying to think who the other guy is. It'll probably come back to me at some point. I'll probably maybe put like a blip or something with like within the description here. But yeah, you see all these fire torches here? Well, all of those different torches right there are all going to be with all these different poses that are going to happen. Now, there's each different spot of all these doors that we have to go and walk on into, and we'll have to go and search for all these guys in those particular areas. Now, there's only a few different places that we can only go to right now, and there's one of them being the Song of Time room, where you do have to go and kind of disappear the actual Song of Time block, just so that you don't have to go and literally have that being in your way, and you can just head on into that door. There's also one where you can go and open up with a certain door that is already here to, I want to say, to our left-hand side, which we will be going and checking that out in a little bit. And then you also have one that is right in the center area, where we can go and get ourselves with another key right away as well too, because that is where we have to go and fight with all the giant Stalfoses that are going to be there. And yes, and the giant Stalfoses are going to be something that we are going to have to go and meet up with within our time of everything here of this dungeon. And we are going to be seeing more of those night Stalfoses or giant Stalfoses that we're going to have to go and meet up with a little bit later on. I want to say maybe within within the Shadow Temple, and then also as well too heading on into with the Spirit Temple. I know that there's a little bit of some of the different type of enemies there. I think in the Gerudo Training Grounds. I think, is there enemies in the Gerudo Training Grounds? I can't really recall if there is or not, but I think there is some of those enemies that are going to be showing up there. But welcome to the outside part of this area. I do have to say it is somewhat of a pretty cool area to go and be around with. There is a key that you can go and be able to find around over here, but we can't really go and do that just yet because I want to say there is this area right here where you can go and get yourself with the dungeon map. But I want to say a little bit later on, if you ever decide to go and head back over here to this way, I think the whole room actually changes around and it shifts around in itself, and you can actually go and head back on into this actual room and use your hook shot to go and kind of lower down with the water later. But we'll have to kind of just be very careful around over here because there's going to be a lot of those sculptures around. Yeah, so when they turn purple like that, do not get yourself hit by those guys because they will be very annoying when that does happen. But here's the room right here. And let's go and battle with our very first bubble that's going to be happening here within this area as well too. And, we're going to be seeing, well, I think later on when we start heading on into the bottom of the well, we're going to be seeing a much more larger type of, well, giant bubble that we're going to have to see around within the area. Well, let's go and open up with the dungeon map, and we're going to have to go and pick up with this one. And with that being said in mind, we got the dungeon map. Okay. So now let's go and exit on out of here. And while doing so, well, the room hasn't really shifted yet, so we'll have to kind of wait a little bit. But yeah, this whole area, for some reason, we can't really go and do anything about with this right now. There is a sculpture over there, but we don't really have a long shot, so we can't really go and do any type of damage right away there. Oh, and also too, by the way, since we are now with Adult Link, the hook shot is going to be something very important that we do have to go and use that for any type of sculptural collecting. Well, since we are, of course, having to go after all these different gold, all these different gold sculptures at this point in time. But let's go ahead on over to the next room. This is over to the left-hand side, for when we just had to go and leave on out of there. And also too, sorry, not Stalfos, but the Sculptulas, if you go and use a hook shot, does a one-hit shot with those guys. It's too bad that we never really got to go and have this here very early in the game, because that would have been something very handy to not even really worry about those Sculptulas at all. But this area, I want to say, is relatively annoying around over here. This is where you have to go and do a lot of the push blocking segments that are going to happen. Now, the first one is not all that too hard, because the first one, all you have to do is just kind of push around exactly where the arrows are going to be showing you. But then there's going to be a red block that's going to be happening, and then this is where you kind of have to kind of double back on a few things that happen within this area, which that kind of makes things really annoying with the backtracking, because if you're not too well assured within this room, there is a ladder that you can actually be able to go and walk around with. But we'll have to go and see that a little bit later from here. But for right now, we're just going to have to go and pull along with this block. And we actually do have a lot of room, so you can just be able to kind of have enough room to at least kind of line everything up properly as best as you can. And there should be a little inlet or something that you can just go and push this block into, and then that will kind of steer you towards into the next part that's going to happen. Now, I want to say, like, later on, after once we go and do this whole entire block puzzle, there will be a door that will have to be used for a key. Unfortunately, for right now, for what we don't have, is that we haven't really went about out with the Knight Stalfoses yet. So we'll have to go and do that a little bit later throughout here, and go and collect that with that. And also as well, too, make our return back to that one other room, where I want to say that by now, like, while doing a little bit of some running around, that area now where that dungeon map should now have been shifted around with the room at this point, and then we could go and see what happens there. So yeah, so if you guys kind of see what's happened here, is that we don't have enough room to go and do anything with that red block. But if we go and do some double backing around over here and see that there is a ladder within our way, and basically just come right around over here, and then move right on into this little tunnel spot, and you can just go and see that right there is the red block, and now we can go and finally push this guy all the way to our next up and coming destination. Now, if we ever do see any type of eyeball areas that kind of feel like you may possibly want to use the hook shot for anything, you can't really go and use the hook shot at all for any of those eyeballs. You have to use the bow and arrow for what we actually do need, because this is what this whole forest temple is going to be all geared around with. It's having to go and use the bow and arrow for that one particular situation that we have to go and do right now. Okay. And I always have to say is that this OST is always so weird to me. I want to say that that weird sound that's actually happening right now for what that creature kind of sounds like, I think that's what the actual boss is doing there. Now there is an area that has a door that's down over on that side. I think there is a way that you can be able to go and do that without having to kind of like do something else about it without changing the room, because you can still actually be able to go and jump from there. Now we got a lot of bubbles here, and back when I went and first played through this game, I thought that this was going to be originally how you're supposed to get yourself with the key, is that if you go and knock around with all these different bubbles, but that is not going to be the case. You can't go and knock down with all the bubbles, but you won't get anything special out of it. And unfortunately, since we don't have any well, we don't really have the certain item that we do need here for this eyeball. We'll have to go and do some double backing once again and head to the center room this time. So here we go. So we've been to 2 rooms so far, but this is going to be the next one here. And I do hear that there sounds to be like a spatula somewhere. We'll have to go and search for where that was going to be at some point. Wow, that was actually pretty nice. Yeah, if you go and just place a bomb right around where the bubble is, I guess they like to go and freak out so much. But here we go. So now we got the battle with the nice, with the nice Stalfos here. Now, the best way to go and deal around with these guys are unless if you can go and probably hit them from behind, or if you can go and probably do the spin attack if you ever wanted to. Now, not only that, but I think also bombs do quite a bit of damage as well. I believe they do one shot, I think, right? With having the bomb, they actually get one shot, and you can actually just be able to go and get them destroyed out here pretty quickly. But I know that throughout my time here, throughout this actual particular battle, I was always about to get myself into a complete game over, so I had to go and set up for the bombs here immediately. Like, there is some extra hearts that you can go and pick up, but it won't really help you all that too much there. So yeah, so just place a bomb somewhere and just let it go, and just let them get destroyed immediately. And just go and do it again as well, and hopefully he can go and hit it. Yeah, there you go. Wow, very lucky right there with the bomb throwing. And there it is. There is the next key that we do need to go and pick up. But there is one more key remaining. And we already went and kind of talked about this already, but it's back to the outside room and back to where the dungeon room is going to be, back to where the dungeon map is. So yeah, so we're back here, and now the room has completely shifted around in itself, which that is very strange, but I wonder what type of weird being went and did that. But now we're all the way back over here, and now we just need to go and, well, basically use our hook shot, hit that spot right there, which we're going to be seeing quite a bit of these type of target practices here. Step on the switch, and that should actually now go and lower the water at this point in time. And now, what is going to happen here is that we actually have 2 different spots that we could go and do. We could go and head into that middle circle right there, or we could go and head into the other area where there is another spot to go and check, and I believe that's where the key is actually located. But I think instead we kind of just take the longer route here anyways. But so we are getting ourselves a little bit closer to the end of the episode, and I guess while we are reaching our way into where the key is going to be, I'll just go and just end off the episode here for today. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. It has been fun to go and, we'll head on into the Forest Temple. We still got other things to go and still be planned out here. We still got the boss battle to go and do, so hope you guys do go and check it out on that for next time. But here is the key. Let's go and finally pick it up, and let's go and get this episode all finished and done with. So I'll see you guys then, and of course, peace.